Numbers, formulas, and
that's what I can remember, sir.
Waluse, can you mention the last one? So these are the data types we discussed last time out. We said that Excel can only accommodate numbers, formulas, and labels. They are so important for you to remember, especially in theory papers. And our focus is, obviously, what else did we look at last time? Okay. Sure, I introduced you to formulas and functions. And to remind ourselves of what we looked at last time out, I have this simple Excel extracted from grade 9 paper. So without wasting much of the time, I would want us to find the total there, which we can replicate all the way down, just to refresh our mind on what we were discussing. So we said in order to enter a formula in Excel boxes, which we call the cells, they always need to start with an equal sign. So if I want to add all these cells, the marks that belongs to Kasondelombe, I'm going to enter equal sign, then I'll add all these all the way to CS. If I press the enter key, you'll see that it will give us the title. Please understand this, because in theory, you will be doing this without a computer. They will only be able to ask you to write down the formula you would enter in a cell like this one. And if this was a question in a paper, this is the formula you are going to enter on in your answer script. So apart from typing the formulas, we also looked at inserting a formula. If we were to insert a formula again, all I needed to do is to go on the fx function there, and then when you're adding, you look for sum. I would select sum, then select all the cells that are part of that sum, and you click OK, you'll be given the correct answer. And there it will be able to show you that this is the function and it's not a formula. And since we are able to remember that, let me just replicate this all the way down using the fill handle like that. So these are part of the things we looked at last time out. Obviously, down there it's showing marks, which means asking for the highest mark. And the easiest way to do that is just click in that cell. Let's look for the highest mark that was obtained in English. And we'll go for insert function. We look for the maximum. The maximum in this range from there to there, who got the highest in English. Then you click OK. It will give you the highest mark in this subject. If you needed to do the minimum, the lowest from English as well, all you needed to do, it's the same thing. Since these are formulas, we are going to go for the minimum, and then we'll select those cells and we click OK. You would see that in English, the lowest are G42 in the name of Maria Banda. So that's the easy way to go. And we can simply replicate to the rest of the cells there and I'll go in the right direction. And there we have all that is needed to be done for the maximum. Even for the minimum there, sometimes you can go it the junior secondary way, like that. It's one and the same thing. I hope this is clear. Tim, are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so our focus today, what we are looking at today, we want to go a little bit further to refresh ourselves on the if functions. So as the name implies, if, it means there is a condition you will need to meet for the result to be displayed on the screen. And the if function has two possible outcomes, which is either true or false. So the if function is one of the most popular functions in Excel, and it allows you to make logical comparisons between a value and what you expect. So an if statement can have two results. The first statement, the first result is if your comparison is true, and the second one is if your comparison is false. And our focus is understanding the syntax for the if function. So as usual, it's supposed to start with an equal sign, then you say if. Then inside the brackets, that's where you're going to put the logical test, the value if true, and the value if false. What am I talking about exactly? Let's do this. Look back to our Excel worksheet there. We've got where we're saying grades here. And I would want us to make if function formulas there. We'll start by doing the typing part, then we'll come to the insertion part. So let's agree on one thing first of all. Let's say these are the total results these children managed to get. Let's put the cutoff point. Penwell, can you select which one do you want to be the cutoff point there?
454.
Which one? 454.
454.
Then if this is the cutoff point, everyone would fail apart from this person. Can you be lenient, please?
Okay, so then 3.
Can we say
350?
350? Let's, we can actually go to 350. That is fine. At least some will pass, then others will fail, obviously, looking at the results. So if you want to show that this one made it, this one failed, we are going to do the if function by typing in this box so that we can compare it to this cell. And we'll start with the equal sign, just like we saw in the last screenshot. Then after that, you would say if. It's a logical test. And it even shows you that this is a function. It's already inbuilt in Excel. Then you open the bracket. The first thing it's asking us for, it's the logical test. The logical test is going to look at this cell to understand whether this cell is equal to what it is requesting to do. So it is going to do the logical test there. Then there will be two possible values, which is the value if true and value if false. So the value if true to mean that this child has passed. The value is false, the child didn't make it. So our logical test, we are going to say that if in this box, it's greater or equal to and we set the cutoff point to 350. So what we are saying that the logical test is, it will measure if this box is greater or equal to 350. If it's greater or equal to 350, then you put a comma there. It's important to remember this syntax, like I said, because in theory paper, there are no computers. You'll be there with the paper alone, and you are expected to type this formula in full without any error. Otherwise, you won't get it. And last time it had the 3 marks, I think, if you have not forgotten. So make sure you understand this. So if H3 is greater or equal to 350, then we'll talk about these inverted commas I'm putting there. You open the inverted commas. So if it is true, as you can see what is in bold now, value if true. Would say that if it's true, the child has made it, he passed. Then you close the inverted commas, you put the question mark, and it will activate the last part there, which is saying value if false. We open the inverted commas, then we would say fail, and we close them. No sooner we close, then we even close our brackets. Then if we press the enter key, it should be able to display either pass or fail. In this instance, Mbinda, what is going to be displayed? What do you think is going to be displayed? Okay. Musonda Mapalo, what do you think is going to be displayed? When as a hand raised, please, when, go ahead.
Is it pass?
It is. It's going to be pass. If we press the enter key, it will give us the pass. Reason being that the cutoff point is 350, and this child had 389. Then from there we can replicate this now to filter those who didn't make it, and to be able to see that there are about 3 fails there. So this is what you're expected to write in your question paper. The easier way, obviously, is by inserting using the FX there. You just click there on FX, then you look for the if. Click OK, then it will ask you for the logical test there. The logical test you're going to enter is if this cell is greater or equal to 350. You jump to the next cell there. Value if true, you would say pass. Value if false, that is fail. The nicest thing about insert function is that you are relieved from typing the inverted commas. Like you can see here, I didn't put them, Excel automatically put that for me. But the sad reality about this is that in the exam, you won't have a computer, and there will be no computer to put inverted commas for you. That's why you must stick to typing for now, and that's what fits you. And if we click OK, it will give us exactly what we got when we managed to type the function. I hope this is clear. Now, to go a little bit in detail, I've got this work here. We've got a student name, Michelle Mwamba, all the way to Precious there. And let's look at this document. Okay. In this document, they said if the score is greater than 89, then return A. So if you're going to get 89 or above, it means you've got the A. If it's 80, you've got B. If it's 70, you have C. All the way, if you've got less than 60, you're going to be given F. And we need to do this using the if function because they're saying if. The challenge we have is that it's going to compare a lot of things. You need to compare all these, if these values are met, before Excel can decide to give you the letter of your grade there. So to do that, go back to our Excel there. These are the student names I put there, and these results are not real. Please, I just typed them randomly. Don't feel upset that he gave me a fail. They are not real. They are imaginary virtual results. So now we need to find the grade in this cell. We put the grade. Find out if this child at A, B, C, D, or all the way to F. So as usual, we'll start with the equal sign. This is very important. Most students, they do remember the entire function, but they simply miss it by missing out the equal sign. And by the way, if there is no equal sign, that is not Excel function or formula. What you've typed is something else, and you don't expect to be given anything. So from there, we would say if, and we open the bracket. And it's asking for logical test. It's the same thing. Then we are measuring it against this cell. Well, I would say if this cell is greater or equal to, the first one they said 89. If it's greater or equal to 89, then you put a comma. Then it jumps now to value if true. Is it true that this cell what is there is above 89? Then he would say if it is true, give that person A. So this person is going to be given A. But what if it is not true? We cannot type, we cannot go ahead to force, because there are other values that need to be obviously tested on as well. So what you're going to do there, you just put a comma. Again, you need to test it against the next value. What was the next value there? Let me check. The next value is 80, then 70, then 60. So if, again you say if, then you open the bracket, then you say the same cell, this one, is greater or equal to, now the next value is 80, according to the screenshot I previously showed you. Let me just show it again to you so that you are in tune of what I'm trying to do. So I started with 89 is equal to A. Now I'm going to 80, which is B, then 70, C, 60, D, all the way to that one at the bottom. Okay. So if it is greater or equal to 80, then put a comma, value if it is true, it's going to be B. Then we close that. Now we can simply not go ahead again to put value is false, because we've got C, D, and F to deal with. Then we are going to say again, if, then you open the bracket there. Then we are going to select the same cell. Again, would say greater or equal to. Now it's supposed to be what? Supposed to be 70. Greater or equal to 70, comma, then this child is going to be given a C. After that, we have a D to deal with. Then we say if, open the bracket, against the same cell again, would say greater or equal to, the D1 supposed to be 60. 60. Then this child, we are going to give him a D. And we close that, then we put the comma. So when you look back at this document, when we get to D, there is only F remaining. So when there is only one remaining, now that one is not going to be true, it's going to be false. So it simply means now, in our Excel, what is remaining there now is that if you didn't get above 60, obviously what is remaining there is going to be F, like that. So it's time to close the brackets. The number of brackets are going to be equal to the number of the closing brackets, equal to the number of the opening brackets. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to close with 4 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Then when we press the enter key, if everything went well, it will be able to give us A. Now, this is where we're going to see that Excel is going now to give everyone according to their grade, because all these have been measured or tested on using that formula. So before I can proceed, any questions there? Any question? Okay. Waluse, are you using a PC or a phone?
A PC.
Is it possible for you to at least show us that you can use the if function by sharing the screen? Can you share your screen, please? Are you able to manage? Say, talk to me. Are you able to manage? She's not talking. Wayne Gondwe, are you using a PC?
No, sir, I'm using a phone.
Please don't be scared. We are going to do it together. What I need, I'm going to help you.
So I'm using a phone.
All right. Precious, are you using a PC?
I'm using a phone, sir.
Malangisha?
I'm using a phone, but I'm switching on my PC.
That won't, it will take us a long time. Don't know if you're going to manage. You let me know. Let me try Mbinda. Samakai.
Phone, sir.
Phone.
Yeah.
Blazing.
I'm using my phone, sir.
Penwell.
So I'm using an iPad, so.
Okay. Okay. Well, we say we are relying on you. Can you share your screen? We will do it together. Are you still there? Wow. She's not responding. Okay, let's make progress. Since all of you are using phones, even those using laptops, those laptops are now phones. We can look at another function there, which we call the SUMIF functions. In fact, before I forget, let's go back to this. Where is it? The same Excel we've been using. What I was trying to also emphasize is the use of those inverted commas in Excel. When do you use those, and when are you not supposed to use them? So every time you're using what we call a string, there is what we call a string. Let's see if I have it. I have it there. Okay. There's what we call a string. This string is any characters typed from the alphabet. We call those strings. So if you're not using strings, then you are using numbers. There are two things involved there. Any string, as long as it's a name, it's supposed to be typed in inverted commas. But if it is simply a number, you must not put it in inverted commas. Literally just type it like it is. What am I trying to say here? Looking back at this Excel, looking back at this one. So let's assume that, let me delete this. Let's say equal to if. Now what we are going to say is that if it is true, print 50. If it is false, print 0. What I'm going to do, I would say if this cell, oh, sorry. I'm supposed to say if this cell, I forgot the brackets, and it will do that. So that's a challenge. This keyboard, the keys are stiff. Okay. If this cell is greater or equal to 350, comma. So if someone made it, has managed to pass, would say 50, then comma. If that person failed, give 0 and close the brackets. This is correct. When you are entering numbers, these numbers are not supposed to be entered in inverted commas. When we press the enter key, it will give us 50. Why? Because same thing, this condition is true. We are typing numbers without entering them in inverted commas because they are numbers. But if you enter a string without putting inverted commas, let's verify. We type a string like we did it initially. This cell is greater or equal to 350, comma. If I just say pass, comma, then fail, then I close the brackets. Let's press the enter key. You can see there is an error there. Why? Because these are strings. Any things from the English alphabet are supposed to be put in inverted commas. If you leave these inverted commas, then you will receive this type of an error. Excel is not going to understand that. But if they are literally numbers there, no problem. You can go ahead and simply type as it is. I hope that is clear. Well, are we clear? Waluse, are you still there? Wow, my girl has run away now. I won't be asking you to share your screen, please. I was just trying to verify if it is possible you can do it. Since you don't want me to see your skill, make sure you practice this on your computers. And you have to ensure that you know the formula by heart. Because in the computer paper theory 1, in exam room, there are no computers which can help you remember this. So just know that in the exam room, I am going to type it like Mr. Wadi has been doing it. There, then logical test, it's that one. If that cell is greater or equal to 350, comma, then in inverted commas there, what have I done now? This is the reason why Walus has run away now. Okay, say pass, then comma, inverted commas, say fail, then you close those. I'm sure if we do that, then it's going to display what is expected to be displayed. There is a message there. Someone, good afternoon, sir. This is Margaret. I won't be able to make it at the hospital at the moment. Understood? Then geography, when we're having geography, I wouldn't be able to say so because Mr. Mgode is attending a meeting concerning GC exams at the DEB's office there. Yesterday, you were not in class. Yes, yesterday I was very far away from Lusaka. I couldn't make it. Although others, they text me that we hear you are sick. I hope it's not COVID. No, it's not. I'm trying to keep safe. I'm keeping 4 meters distance, just to be sure that I'm very far away from this person. So that's about the if function and the strings and literal numbers, which are supposed to be typed without inverted commas. I'm sure we are fine. Malaysia, are we safe?
Yes, sir.
There is an exercise coming soon. And this exercise, when you do it, you will need to use a computer, not a phone. And after doing your exercise, you drop it in my inbox WhatsApp. Okay? I'll be able to mark it over the weekend. It's an Excel practical paper. I'll be able to give you an exercise by tonight. It will be in the group there, WhatsApp group. Make sure you do the assignment. By Monday, it should be in my inbox. Are we clear? Yes, someone is talking. Binda.
I didn't send it to you.
Didn't get that. You are
How
cut.
is the way?
Come again.
Let me check.
Okay, I'm not getting you. Try to type in chat there. I'll be able to see what you are talking about, but your network possibly is so very poor there. Try to type. Okay, then let me proceed now. We needed to look at the SUMIF functions. It's simply an if function, but its responsibility is to add numbers if they meet a certain criteria. If that criteria is not met, then those numbers are not going to be added. Trying to see. Okay, so the syntax for the SUMIF is like this. Obviously, this, I got it from the internet. There was no equal sign there. If you have to run this on your Excel, it's not going to manage because there is no equal sign there. And every time you are entering anything to do with formulas, please make sure that the equal sign is there. If not, you will receive Excel errors. How do you go about to use the SUMIF function? There is what we call range, there is what we call criteria, there is what we call sum range. So let me see if I can use one of these Excel worksheets we've been using. Anything I can use. Okay. If I go into SUMIF, I hope it won't be too much. What are we going to do? Okay, let me just tackle this question first, obviously. Then the SUMIF will start it afresh because the scare you gave me on if function, if I do the SUMIF, I think it possibly will be too much. To sum it up for today, let's just end with this question. And this question, find the total. It's as simple as that. Then you click on the auto sum symbol and it will give you the total sum like that. I clicked on auto sum. It's a shortcut for any if function, any function that are inbuilt of Excel. You can find them there if you are not going to use this. There is a shortcut there. And after totaling this, we can just replicate. And a little job is going to be done here. They're saying VAT. VAT is 0.18, which simply means this is 18%. So VAT stands for value added tax. And what simply means that on anything you are buying, you are going to purchase, if it's 20 kwacha, you need to add a little amount of 18% of 20 kwacha, and that will be the original cost. So, for instance, You want to buy shawarma at 20 kwacha. They say shawarma is 20 kwacha, but the tax you have to pay for shawarma is 3 kwacha. What is the total amount are you going to pay for shawarma? Temwa. The price of shawarma is 20 kwacha. Then the value added tax is 3 kwacha. What is the total amount of money are you going to pay? This is the meaning. We look at the yes.
No, it's okay. So I just wanted to clarify, but it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. All right. Msonda, are you able to see my board?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is shawarma is 20 kwacha. On top of that, you need to pay 3% of 20 kwacha. What is 3% of 20 kwacha? Mathematicians? What is 3% of 20 kwacha? 20 times 3 over 100. That's 1, that is 5. It can't. What's the value? See, equal to 0, which is 0. This into there, 0.6. If I'm correct. So 0.6 plus 20, you're going to pay 20.6 as the total cost. You will need to cover the original cost plus the value added tax. Then the two will give you the total amount you are supposed to pay. Now, if we look at our Excel, by the way, Mbinda, are we clear here? Precious, yes, what's the problem?
Yes, yes.
Are you safe?
Yes,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
safe.
Okay, so let's look at what we are given now in this Excel. We are given that the value added tax is 18%, 0.118. So if we are going to buy anything like this, if this is the total, this is the original price before you add the VAT, which is the 18%. So what is 18% of 190? It's the simple explanation they're trying to ask from us. So if we find the value, the VAT of 190, that VAT, we're going to add it to 190 in order to get the total. What I'm trying to explain is simply what is here. All right. The original price is 20 kwacha. Then the value added tax is 3%. We first find the value added tax, of which the value added tax was 0.6. This is the 3% of 20 kwacha. After you are done with that, then you will need now to add this value to the original price. To reduce on the problems, let me do this. Let's put a bigger figure there. Let's say it's 20%. That is the tax. So we are going to find the 20% of 20 kwacha, which simply means we're going to say 20 kwacha multiplied by 20 over 100. There, and there we cancel. This one is supposed to be 5. 5 into there, I think it's going to be 4. So 4 kwacha is 20% of 20 kwacha. So, which simply means what you're going to get now, how much you're going to pay is your 20 kwacha, the original price, then the value added tax. And the total you are going to get is 24 kwacha there. What are we safe? How much are we okay?
Yes, sir, we're okay.
All right. So means we are going to pay 24 kwacha because the 20% of 20 kwacha is 4 kwacha. Then who pays the VAT? The person buying is the one who's going to pay for that. So if you've got money and you buy things in shops, you've been paying tax. You are a taxpayer. And for this question now, which is saying there is 18% there. So the way we are going to sort out this problem now, we need to find the 18% of 190 to find the total we need to pay there. And we can do it, let's do it first on the board, then we translate it into a formula for Excel. So it's 190. Got it? 190 as the original cost. Then the value added tax is 18 over 100. So, you know, mathematics is not friendly.
Sir, the answer is 34.2.
34.2. Thank you very much. I hope that is correct. Then if this is the value added tax, we are going now to add it to 190. Mathematicians, what's the total now you're going to pay? Sonda, what's the total?
224.2.
224.2 like this?
Yes.
So you can see you were meant to pay 190. You end up paying this because of tax. And when you go to the shopping mall again, next time, make sure when you get the receipt, look carefully at your receipt. You'll find that there is VAT which you have been paying without knowing. The price is not so much, but after you add tax, VAT, the amount goes to some extreme in most cases. Like when you're buying a car from Japan, you can buy a car from Japan at 20,000 kwacha, but because of tax, you end up paying possibly 40,000 kwacha in total. Those things are real. You can ask your parents who are buying vehicles. That's the problem with the tax. But we always need to pay tax. If you're not paying tax, then ask your civic education teacher what will happen to you. ZRA, they will need tax to pay teachers, doctors, to pay council workers, all those people. They get paid because of value added tax we pay. So in this case now, what we are going to do is we are going to say equal to. Then we open the bracket where we are going to say this box multiplied by 0.18, 0.18, then you close this bracket. What is inside there? You're just finding what we call the value added tax. I mean the tax, the percentage of 18% of 190. That's what we are getting there. And this amount that's 18 over 100, you know how to convert these ratios. So 0.18 is simply 18% of G3, and G3 is 190. So what we are going to get here is simply the VAT you are going to pay. After you find the VAT, now you are going to add it to the original cost. And the original cost is 190. If we press the enter key, it will give us the exact thing with the exact number our friend calculated, which I wrote on the board. So look at it from this area. The first thing we are going to look for, we need to find the tax. What is 18% of G3. And after you find the tax here, you're going to add this tax to the original cost, and you will get that. And then later on, it's as simple as replicating that. Then if they say give your answer correct to 2 decimal places or 1 decimal place, others they are 3 decimal places, 2 decimal, the other one is 1 there. Like for this one, let me go for this one. If they say give it to 1 decimal place, all you need is to work with these. There is the increased decimal and the decreased decimal. If you are decreasing, you reduce it, and as you can see there, it has been rounded off. If we increase it, it will go back to 96. If it's this other one there, I'm sure it will be 220.7 if we reduce it. Let's see, decrease it, there it's simple as that. So what should be in your mind now as grade 12 going to university next time? You should be able to calculate the VAT. After calculating, then you add it to the original cost, and thereafter it will give you the main total there. I hope this is clear. Any questions? Are we safe? Penwell, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You'll be able to do the exercise, not so? Gondo, are you able to do the exercise if I give you now?
Maybe.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's a tricky exercise, but I expect you to do it without problems. That is, if you've understood today's lesson. What is important is understanding how to create those formulas. If you create those formulas, you are able to create them. No matter how scattered the question is, if you're able to figure it out, put it on paper, then start translating it. If you looked carefully, like what I did here on this one, when I was putting the formula here, I started by creating my bracket there. The reason I was doing that, you understand the laws of precedence in mathematics, BODMAS. I wanted first Excel to deal with this. Although I didn't put it in the brackets, this is going to be okay. Why? Because multiplication mostly comes first in the BODMAS before addition. It's going to multiply this one and this one before adding to that one. But this is a good practice, just in case we don't know the laws of mathematics. Just in case, make sure that you are able to put this in brackets, and you should be able to give an explanation for that, why you are putting it in there. If you're able to explain, that is the reason you are in school. You are different from those people who are not in school. You have the knowledge, and the knowledge is the same one we are giving you. In your mind, you need to know that he's done that because the laws of BODMAS can do ABC. If I show formula there, be able to see those formulas, obviously. The laws of BODMAS are supposed to be taken care of by the person who is answering the question. I hope that is clear. If there are no questions, I'll end this class and go ahead to send in the group to put there an assignment for Excel. Any questions? Okay, there are no questions.
Mr. Walia.
Yes, Mutinta.
In order for us to send the work, we send pictures of the work, or we can send you the document of us.
Okay, what you'll be doing is the same way you did it in class when we are doing databases. on access. You will do the screenshot and paste them in Microsoft Word. And what will be marked in the Word document, and that's what I want. Please don't finish my space by sending me everything. All I'm interested in is the Word document where you will be doing your screenshots. And make sure that before you put, you send your work to my inbox. It's well numbered. Make sure that number 1 is as it is from the question paper. I'll be very strict because, as you can see, learning has been very difficult because of the things we are passing through. So I will make sure, most examiners, they don't care the things we are going through. And the blame will come back to your teachers. This is the reason I'll start being strict from marking your scripts. And since you are doing it at your places there, I believe you have a lot of time to do a nice work. It will be one of those things I'll count towards your SBA. Your friends who are not online today, please inform them in your WhatsApp group for computer studies. But you do this nicely, it's also going to count towards your SBA. I think I'm done, unless there's someone else. Safi has never been part of our lessons. Is she aware that we are meeting? Precious, is your friend aware?
I think she's.
Last week she wasn't here. Equally, today she's not here. And also, Ali's case, she's not here. Let her know that this assignment I'm going to give you is so very, very important. Okay, bye-bye, and see you next time. Someone say bye, please. Just leaving.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Thank you. Now I'm okay. Bye-bye.